Greetings. This is Tyrola Fama, your goddess guru, here to share a word of wisdom to assist you along your way. I made a video for this week, for the energy governing this week, and I feel like I left out some details. I'm not sure if I did, but I wanted to make this video because this is something that's very important for us to understand. And the energy that spoke last week and again this week is the energy called Haru. Haru is a masculine energy, very fiery, hot, fiery energy. And this energy, one of the wisdom teachings of this energy is willpower. Many of us believe willpower is like, how strong can I be and hold out on this thing and I'll fight and I'll win to the end. Let me tell you something. Wisdom wins every time. You want to be strong? Be wise. Because in the ancient story, or the story told out of ancient Egypt, there was Osir, the ruler. He was a very wise king. Everyone in Egypt land was peaceful, harmonious. They all operated according to their higher selves. One day, Osir needed to go and see what was going on in other parts of the kingdom, which was going to require him to leave the place where he normally lived. And so he asked his brother Set to rule the kingdom while he was gone on this trip. Well, when Set moved in, let's just say Set was a partier. Of the two who like to have a good time, brother Set. he was all about let's just do this thing, party hardy, have a good time. And it was a lower energy. And so Osir returns and Set is not having it. Set says, no way. So what does he do? He kills Osir and cuts his body into 14 pieces and distributes them around the world. Well, Osir's wife, she's also been called his sister, along with her sister, go on a journey to find these body parts of Osir. Set is known for devotion. This is the energy of the universe, which is in us because we are the universe too, that speaks to devotion. What are you devoted to? See, Osir represents the part of ourselves that is limitless. When people talk about their soul, that is a basic understanding of Osir. Osir is a part that is never differentiated into a body. I'll put it this way. A small piece of Osir is differentiated into the body, this little small part of ourselves. But the greater reality, the part that's there since before you are who you know you are in this moment, that's the part I'm talking about. And so we have this small identity, the skin and flesh with a personality and a living spirit inside of it. And then we have an aspect of ourselves that is limitless and undifferentiated. It's not anything. It's energy. It's consciousness. Set was so devoted to finding the Osir, the parts of Osir, to make them a whole, to bring them all together so that they were all one whole being, one whole body again. And the question is, how devoted are you to finding that aspect of yourself? So much of our consciousness is fragmented. And so just like Set, Isis is another name, had to go and find all these different parts. She would not stop until she found all of the parts. How devoted are you to that process? And so she finds all the parts of the body, puts them together, and buries them underneath a body of water, all except for one part, his phallus, his penis. And she buries it underneath the water. And that's where our consciousness is. That part of ourselves is just beneath the surface of our physical consciousness, which is the level that most of us are most identified with, even though it's the least part of ourselves. And she used the phallus to create a child, to conceive a child. And this is all a story meant to help explain higher truth. So if it sounds bizarre, just take what works for you and leave the rest. Because even I don't understand the fullness of it. But this basic little part I do. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. So a child is conceived. His name is Haru. Horus is another name. And for Osiris, or Osiris is another name. So when I say Oser, if you know the name Osiris, that's the same energy. Just a different name. Okay, so she conceives this child whose name is Haru, or Horus is another name. And this child grows up and decides, I'm going to win my father's kingdom back. And he starts all these wars battling with Set, which represents the lower nature of ourselves. He battles and battles and battles. Set would win one, Haru would win one. Set would win again, then Haru. Set, Haru, Set, Haru. And so it really became a stalemate. Neither one could win. Well, guess what? And before I move on, let me go back. I'm trying to tie this all into willpower. Haru thought just sheer brute force, battling it out, who's the stronger man would win. And it didn't. Guess what won? Wisdom. He decided to go into a court, and he was assisted by Tahuti, who is the energy of wisdom. And it was through following the wisdom of Tahuti. And wisdom always points us to divine law. When we talk about divine law, it's not about who's right and wrong and all that kind of good stuff. It's about what are the natural laws of the universe. And so by him following truth, wisdom in a court of law, Haru was able to finally win. It wasn't through sheer brute will and force. And that is what we have to know about willpower. Willpower is understanding that we have a will, which is, it's like having a landscape, some ground, the earth. But it's our consciousness. It's that part of us that thinks and hears and knows and operates our bodies. Our consciousness is the bomb. I mean, it's like amazing. The more you learn about it, the more you'll think, oh my God, I did not know I was all of this. So we have our will, which is basically our consciousness, but a way to look at it is it's the earth. It's ground. It's like a garden. And our thoughts, our desires, be it bad or good, positive and negative, what we want or don't want, as we think and as we feel, that becomes seed. Thoughts and feelings, they're seed. They get planted in our consciousness, in this garden, in our minds, in our souls, in our consciousness. And the power of the universe that is within us will say, oh, we want to grow what? Whatever thoughts, whatever feelings you plant in your garden, they will be grown. So you have to remember that you have to choose. That's what Haru says. You have to choose what you feel. You have to choose what you think. Your emotions and your feelings truly are fuel for whatever it is you're thinking about. So when you're thinking to yourself, I hate my job with a passion. I cannot stand this job. Oh, it's like the worst place I've ever worked. It's horrible here. I hate it. And every day you go in and you dread it, and then your stomach starts hurt. Woo! The more you think it, baby, guess what? The more you're going to hate it, and things at work will just get worse and worse and worse. And some of us even think, I hate this job so much, I wish I didn't even work here. If you're thinking that and you're not thinking about where you do want to work, baby, guess what? The power of the universe, those emotions that you're feeling about how you hate working there and you wish you didn't work there anymore, it's going to make it happen. And it can't make you getting another job happen if you're not thinking as powerfully and as passionately about where you do want to work. So you have to choose. That's what we were told this week. Choose. What is it that you desire? What is it that you want? Your thoughts and your emotions, choose them deliberately. Don't think about anything you don't want. If you don't like it, it's an indication you need to just go do something different. The more we think about what we don't like, you know, your partner, your spouse, your husband, your wife, whoever, that little thing about them that you know what I'm talking about, because we all have that thing about our special love that irks the fire out of us. I mean, really, we would just, in a second, poof it away. Oh, and the more they do it, it's like it just starts becoming like this glaring thing, this monster. It's just, the more you focus on that, guess what? The more you're going to notice it. If it's something about your partner that you don't like, stop focusing on that bull crap. I mean, it's one thing you don't like, 20 you do. Why can't we focus on the 20 good things we like? Well, we got to focus on the negative. The more you align yourself with the things you love about your mate, the more you will experience the good. And in a while, you'll understand the bad is part of, and it's not even really the bad, but the thing that irks you is part of who and what they are. It might be a real problem. They will have to fix it. You can only do so much about someone else's problem. But you can align yourself to the part of them that you care about the most, and you can get to a place of acceptance and understanding, because guess what? For every one thing you complain about your mate, they got about 3 that they could tell you about you. Okay? None of us are perfect. So, and I have experienced this firsthand. The more I focus on what I adore about my husband, the more I experience it. When I was at a place of not a greater understanding, I would just be watching him. I would just watch him and just be so irritated. And I have to pick up the phone and call one of my friends and tell her, I don't like this about him. He's on my nerves. Baby, that thing got bigger and bigger. After a while, I started saying, you know what? I don't want to focus on the negative with him. And when I would complain to him about whatever he was doing that I didn't like, he would say, okay, we can talk about me, but we're going to talk about you too. And I didn't like that, because guess what? He was telling the truth. The things he didn't like about me, he had a good point. Okay, none of us are perfect. The greater love puts us in a place where it's the majority of the people in our lives really are cool. And if they're not, the greater love will allow us to bless them and release them. If it's toxic for our being and our just our living, we need to let go of somebody. We can bless them and let them go. The greater love will allow us to do that if it is that serious. But the majority of us, we just need to get over it, okay? And think about the good. Because I tell people all the time, you complaining about your mate, let your mate die and tell me how much you want to complain about him or her, okay? That's not the funnest thought to think, but it's something I chose to do. If my husband died, I would miss him so much. I would probably be okay with having the parts of him that irk me. If that was all I could have, then I have none of him. So we have to put ourselves in that place of appreciation. And we have to remember that our will, we plant into it with our thoughts and our feelings. We don't have to feel negative. We don't have to choose. We don't have to do anything with these negative thoughts that come up except for allow us to know that ain't what I want. And just choose a different thought. Choose a different action. Choose a different belief even. Okay? Let's be fair and just too. Just that was just a little extra thrown in there. I hope this video will assist you along your way. And I hope that you have a great week, a great year. And many blessings of the Goddess be upon you. Peace and love.